Ladies and gentlemen, the third segment of episode 5 of first full season of Night Gallery is a TV classic. Kind of harkens back to some Twilight Zone episodes of dolls and ventriloquist dummies that were causing mayhem. And this doll literally is the most scary doll you'll ever see, besides Chucky, and maybe the creators of Chucky took inspiration from the killer doll of this episode. Now, the doll, teleplay by Rod Serling, with a story by Algernon Blackwood, directed by Rudy Dorn. With the great John Williams as Colonel Masters, Williams of Caterpillar fame of Night Gallery, and Dial M for Murder, Shani Wallace as Miss Danton from the Oliver movie, Henry Silva as Pandit Chola, Jewel Blanche as Monica, and Than Weenan as the Indian Messenger. This Gothic story is set around the turn of the 20th century during the British era of colonialism. It begins with the Colonel's Colonel returning home after some time away. He is greeted by his housekeeper, Miss Danton, who asks him how long he'll be home, to which he replies, that will depend on the whims of the general staff of the colonial office. His young niece Monica also lives here, and she greets her uncle and excitedly tells him she has a new doll, which she has with her. When Colonel Masters' eyes glance downward to the doll, his expression changes to one of shock and fear. When we see the doll, the viewer's face may do the same even before hearing the doll's backstory. It's a little girl doll, but it looks not a bit innocent. It looks terrifying, all black around the eyes, as if a lunatic had applied eyeliner and applied false eyelashes. It has deep red lips, and skin that looks like blood vessels are showing, topped by an unruly mop of dingy blonde hair. Now, according to David Jewell's great blog on the Night Gallery first season, the Colonel suggests replacing the doll, dismisses Monica, and asks to speak with Miss Danton privately, where he starts off by asking her why she allowed such a grimy, unpleasant doll to become Monica's. She replies that she thought it was sent by him, as it arrived from India where it had just been posted. He asks if she has reason to doubt the harmlessness of Monica's doll. Relieved to be allowed to speak what she had not been keeping inside, she blurts out that it's unwholesome. There's something terribly evil about it, and realizes how ridiculous it sounds to speak aloud what she had been thinking. She relates that Monica has the doll with her at all times. The Colonel informs Miss Danton that he didn't send it to get it away from Monica, but mentioned nothing of her intentions in the doll's presence, which seemed to be a warning that Danton didn't believe. She's incredulous at that last part, and explained that the doll was a gift not to her, but to him. A new doll is purchased for and given to Monica, but shortly after his arrival, Monica has to give back the new doll because the old doll told her that she hates the new arrival. Monica suspects the evil doll, let's just call it that, is jealous. The Colonel wants her to give it another go with the new doll. Later that night, Monica is crying in her room, and her uncle and Miss Danton rush to her, and between sobs, Monica says the hateful thing, tore the new doll apart as we see its severed remains. Later, a suspicious man arrives, played by the great Henry Silva, to see the Colonel. He says he's the brother of a man recently executed in India. The Colonel explains that this man led a series of terrorist raids against British outports, and he was tried and executed for these acts. The man explains that he's a Shudra, a believer in magic. He says he's the one who sent the doll and says it will come back until it's fulfilled its mission. It can't be destroyed until it's done his work. The doll has teeth and there's no medicine on earth to save you, he warns as the Colonel as he leaves. The Colonel picks up a hot poker from the fireplace and heads up the stairs. We get a big scare as the next shot shows that the doll is waiting, sitting at the top of the stairs. We then hear the Colonel scream, and we hear the sound of tiny feet running away. Miss Danvers comes, and he tells her he was bitten by the doll and asks her to fetch it, which she does, and he throws it into the fireplace. Now it's destructible, it's done his job, he says with a measure of relief and resignation. Some people believe when he watches this episode he took the bite so his niece wouldn't be killed. He knows he will die soon. He struggles to complete his final act. He instructs Miss Danton to get a sealed envelope from his dresser addressed to an Indian man. See that it's delivered to him immediately and tell him that this thing has happened. He'll know what to do. He explains that he has substantial life insurance and tells her to look after Monica, take her where there are children to play with. Buy her things. A new doll, for starters. Next, we see an Indian man come to the apartment of another Indian man. The messenger carries a box about 18 inches long and tells the man inside there's a gift from the late Colonel. He says notably. He reciprocates. The man in the apartment opens the box, drops it, and looks ashen. In the final shot, we see that inside is a doll that looks like the Colonel. His eyes opens and smiles. A great scary ending, and one that the original writer of Child's Play must have seen. Again, for many, this is one of the finest, scariest stories to appear in Night Gallery, and is one of the top recommendations for the entire series. Again, great at a Halloween night, but great at any night when you want to see a little bit of British Gothic horror. Now, for me, it's 4 stars out of 4. The reason why I love the lead as an actor, and I love the way it was put together. You know what's coming, but only one person of the 3 really knows. And when the denouement happens, you know that he was prepared. When you kill evil, sometimes the evil that supports evil can come and get you. But revenge is a dish not only served cold, but sometimes served in reciprocation, as we like to say. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our latest Night Gallery podcast. In Halloween, Canterbury, New Brunswick, we had over 100 children tonight, and each one of them was joyful, polite, nice, happy to get candy, and that's the type of people that could join a Night Gallery. Maybe these kids will grow up and learn about the series through these podcasts or people talking about it, because Night Gallery 90% of the time were horrible tales told sometimes with a good ending, a bad ending, or a deserving ending, like The Doll or The Caterpillar or The Waiting Room, and you know what I'm talking about. Horror in the right way, subtle, is the best one. You don't need blood. Night Gallery was not about blood. Night Gallery was all about cerebral horror. Thanks for listening. Bye.